Distinction between sovereign and non-sovereign functions. In the law of torts, the state's liability depends upon whether the act was done in the exercise of sovereign or non-sovereign functions. The distinction is important to decide when the state is liable for torts committed by its servants. Sovereign functions. These are functions which are inherently governmental and can be performed only by the state, such as functions related to defense, administration of justice, and maintenance of law and order. Non-sovereign functions. These are functions which are not exclusively governmental and can also be performed by private individuals or bodies, such as commercial, welfare, or economic activities. Judicial explanation, brief. Courts have clarified that sovereign immunity cannot be extended blindly. If the activity is commercial or welfare-oriented, the state cannot escape liability by calling it sovereign. Modern judicial trends favor state accountability. Examples. Sovereign function, police action while maintaining law and order. Non-sovereign function, government-owned bus service causing an accident due to negligence. The distinction between sovereign and non-sovereign functions determines state liability in tort law. While traditional law protected the state for sovereign acts, modern courts increasingly limit this protection to ensure justice and compensation to victims. The liability of the state depends on whether the act was done in sovereign or non-sovereign capacity. Sovereign functions are those which can be performed only by the state, while non-sovereign functions are commercial or welfare activities. Case law, N. Nogendra Rao v. State of Andhra Pradesh, 1994. Facts. Fertilizers seized under statutory powers were stored negligently by government officials, resulting in deterioration and loss. The owners of the goods claimed compensation from the state for negligence. Held. The Supreme Court held that the state was liable. It ruled that negligence in handling seized goods was not a sovereign function. The court narrowed the scope of sovereign immunity and emphasized accountability of the state. Modern trend of state liability. Modern judicial approach favors holding the state liable to ensure justice and accountability, especially in welfare and commercial activities. Case law, Common Cause v. Union of India, 1999. Facts. The case involved misuse of government funds and vehicles by public servants for personal purposes, causing loss to the public exchequer. Held. The Supreme Court held that the state is accountable for wrongful acts of its officials. Public authorities can be directed to recover losses caused by misuse and negligence. Constitutional basis of state liability. Article 300 of the Constitution of India allows the Union and states to be sued in the same manner as the Dominion of India and provinces before the Constitution came into force. Case law P. and O. Steam Navigation Co. v. Secretary of State, 1861. Facts. A servant of the government negligently drove a carriage on a public road, causing injury to the plaintiff. The act was done during a commercial activity of the government. Held. The court held the government liable, distinguishing between sovereign and non-sovereign functions. This case laid the foundation of state liability in India. Conclusion. State liability under the law of torts is based on the nature of the function performed by the state servant. The state is liable for torts committed during non-sovereign functions but enjoys immunity for sovereign functions. However, modern judicial trends favor restricting sovereign immunity and ensuring greater accountability of the state. This topic is extremely important for LLB examinations and understanding public law remedies.